VSAQ is very short answer questions, VSAQs. The first question is, 3 numbers are chosen at random from numbers 1 to 30. 1 to 30 the numbers are being chosen randomly. Write the probability that the chosen numbers are consecutive. Consecutive. So numbers consecutive means 1 by 1. 1, 2, 3 are consecutive. 2, 3, 4 are consecutive. 3, 4, 5 are consecutive. 4, 5, 6 are consecutive. These are consecutive. 1, 3, 4 is not consecutive. Okay. So these will be, if you take the consecutive, they will be 28. See, 1, 2, 3 you combine, 2, 3, 4 you combine. Finally, when you combine 28, 29, 30, this will be the final combination. So 29, 30, that is the 2 numbers will have only one combination of consecutive. So 30 minus 2, 28 will be there. 30 minus 2, because last combination will be only 28, 90, 29, 30. There cannot be any other combination. Okay, so what is the probability? Probability number of favorable cases divided by the total number of cases. What are the total number of cases? 30 numbers are there. We are choosing 3 out of them. So 30, C3 it is. This is total number of cases. What about as I said, how many are there? 28. Basically, it's 28, or you can also call it as 28C1. You are taking 1 out of it. Because these are 28 and you are taking 1 out of it. So 28C1 you can call it as, or 28C1, and NC1 is what? It's going to be N only. So 28C1. So 28 by 30C3, 30C3, if you compute it will be 4060. If you see, it is given also. So 1 by 145 will be the answer. Next one is, N is greater than or equal to 3. Persons are sitting in a row. First of all, N has to be greater than or equal to 3. So it will be 3, 4, 5 and innumerable. But it cannot be 2, it cannot be 1. So these are N persons are sitting in a row. 2 of them are selected. Write the probability that they are together. So I'll just give an example. See, here we have, say, assume it to be 4 because it is greater than 3. Just an example. Now we are saying 2 of them are together. Whenever we select, these are together. Those sitting together are chosen. So if you are selecting N, the 2 are selected. N can be any number. It has to be greater than 3, but you are selecting 2 out of them, and 2 has to be consecutive. So NC2, you had all the numbers we don't know, N people are sitting, you are taking 2 out of them. This is the total number of cases. But the case is, whenever you are selecting 2, they are not together or together, NC2. But whenever they are together, that is now the favorable cases. See, here we have 4. But if we keep them together, it will be one entity, this will be one entity, this will be one entity. So 4 was N, so this becomes N minus 1. Whatever number you choose, or whatever number is given, the other will be N minus 1. Because you have taken 2 of them as single entity. I hope you got the idea. I'm just saying, just take these 2 together. So this will be one entity, this will be one entity, this will be one entity. Same thing. So 2 who are sitting together. So we have these total was N, but here we have N minus 1. See, again we are selecting one of them. We are selecting one of them, which are these 2, means which are sitting together. So we are selecting those which are sitting together. So NC1, N minus 1 C1. So let us see what you get. NCR is factorial N minus 1 factorial 1 factorial N minus 1 minus 1. That is going to be factorial N minus 2. NCR is factorial N by factorial R by factorial N minus R. And divided by NC2. So factorial N by factorial 2 by factorial N minus 2. So if you see here, this N minus 2 is there. You can cancel them. This N minus 2, this gets cancelled. 2 factorial will go up, 2 into 1, 2 goes up. Now you have n minus 1 factorial and this factorial n. So this goes up. Now only remaining is factorial n minus 1 and factorial n. This is n minus 1. We can write it as n factorial n minus 1. The denominator is factorial n minus 1. This gets cancelled. You have n only there. So 2 by n is the answer. Next is question number 3. A single letter is selected at random from the word probability. What is the probability that it is a vowel? So how many are there? Just count them. These are 11 of them. So first is total number of possibilities are 11 because these are 11 letters. Don't worry about the repetition etc. Just write 11 because NC1 is n only. You are selecting 1. Now what are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U. These are vowels. How many vowels are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 vowels are there. Don't worry about the repetition. You have to count them. So you are selecting one of them. 4C1 is 4 only. So 4 by 11 is the answer. This is question number 4. What is the probability that a leap year will have 53 Fridays or 53 Saturdays? So leap year means what? There are 53 Fridays and 53 Saturdays. Leap year. We have already talked about this leap year, but whosoever is looking for the first time, let me just explain it once more. Every year it is 365 days and 1 by 4 days, that is 365.25 days every year. So we just count 365, but this 1 by 4 that is 0.25 accumulates. This accumulates to 1 day in 4 years. That is 1 day is added always after 4 years. So this becomes after every 4 years it will become 366. So this 366 day year is called a leap year. You will always see February will have one more day, 29th day in February. This is the leap year. Now we have 366 days. So we know let us divide into this weeks. We know 52 is what? 52 weeks we have. 52 into 7 is 364. But since we have 366 days in a leap year, so 2 days are remaining. So 366 plus minus 2 is 364. So these 2 days can be Sunday, Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday. So these are 7 possibilities here. So total number of possibilities are 7. So in the denominator you will use 7. What about the possibilities which are favorable to us? So it can have 53 Fridays or 53 Saturdays. So let us see either Friday or Saturday which belongs to this sample space. Okay. So we have Friday and Saturday. Now in the sample space just find where Friday is and where Saturday is. It can be together also, but because it is OR, so this is having a Friday, this is having a Friday and this is having a Saturday. So total number of favorable cases are 3. These are 3 favorable cases. Total number of cases were 7. So 3 by 7 is the answer. 3 by 7. Leap year. So possibility of this 53 Fridays or 53 Saturdays is 3 by 7. Next is question number 5. 3 die are thrown simultaneously. What is the probability of getting 15 as the sum? So there are 3 die. 1, 2, 3. As I told you earlier also, what is the technique? One die can give you 6 options. So just put these options, and how many die are there? 3. So 6 to the power 3. These are the total number of cases. What will come in the denominator? 6 to the power 3, that is 216. So 216, just put it in the denominator. Now what are the favorable cases? The sum should be 15. So if 3, 6, 6 comes here, it will be 15. 6, 6 plus 12 plus 3 is 15. Then we have 4 and we have 6, 5. So 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 5, 15 or 5, 5, 5. But these can be arranged in several ways because there are 3 different die. So 3, 6, 6 is there, 6, 6, 3 is there and 6, 3, 6 is there for this. 3 options are there. Now what about this 4, 6, 5 we can have, we have 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, then we have 6, 4, 5, then 6, 5, 4, then 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 6. So how many are there? Just count them. You will ask a question, why here higher, why here less? Because 6, 6 is repeated. So these are 6. So these are 3, 6, and one more is there, 5, 5, 5. So you have 6, 3, and we have 1. So 10. 10 is the total number of favorable cases. 10 by 2, 16 is the answer. If the letters of the word Mississippi are written down at random in a row, what is the probability that the 4S come together? 4S. So we'll do like this, the consecutive people we talked about it earlier. We'll take S together and we'll count them as 1. And the others will count them separately and this 1 will be added to them. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 are there. So this Mississippi words can be arranged in how many ways? Factorial 11. So just put factorial 11 here. This is in the denominator. Now taking S, 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 S together, you can put it in the entry or exit also. That is initially or at the final. I am putting it at the last. So this S, 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 I am putting 4 S together. And I am going to count this S, 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 S as 1. Others I will count and then I will add this one. Because S, these all S have to be together. So this is I am counting as 1. Others, how many they are there? These are, so we have 7 here. So 7 plus 1. This is 7 and this is S, 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 S as 1. So 7 plus 1 is going to be 8. Okay, I'm just adding this 1 because I took S, 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 S as 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. Now this can be arranged in factorial 8 ways. But now S, 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 they are different. All S's are different. So they can also be arranged in factorial 4 way. These are four different S. And they can also be arranged in factorial 4 way. So put factorial 4 here. Factorial 8 into factorial 4 by factorial 11, and this is going to be the final answer. 4 by 165 will come. Next, what is the probability that the 13th days of a random chosen month is Friday? Okay. See here, how many options are there? We have 12 options. Months, 12 months are there. So total number of cases are 12. But what month we have to take? The month we have to take so that the Friday should be 13th day. When can it be the 13th day? We can start with Monday, Tuesday. First day can start with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. These are all can be the first day. These are first day. But these are 7 whole way. See this favorable cases we are taking. So it has also a denominator. 7 are the total cases. Now what will be the case? The 13th day will be Friday. So I'll show you this calendar of 2021. Just see whichever first day starts with Sunday. You will find the 13th day will be Friday. So in August, first day is Sunday and you see Friday is 13th day. So this is the only option we have. Whenever it starts with Sunday, if you start with Sunday, we have total 7 options. So 7 is the total number of cases for the numerator. So 13th day, Friday will come only when we start with Sunday. So 7 are the total options and 1 is the favorable options. But this is the probability of favorable cases. 1 by 7 will come in the numerator and 12 is the denominator. Because 12 are the total months. 1 by 7 is the favorable month. 12C1, basically 1 month you are taking. Okay. So 1 by 7 and this 12 also goes down. It was already down. So 1 by 84 is the answer. Eighth question is, 3 of the 6 vertices of regular hexagon are chosen at random. What is the probability that the triangle with these vertices is equilateral? Okay. Hexagon, hex means 6. Regular means all the sides are equal, all the angles are equal. So it's a polygon with 6 sides, 6 angles, all the angles are same, all the sides are same. Hex is 6. So we have to choose 3 vertices. Vertices are what? Where the edges intersect. These are the vertices. We have to select 3 vertices. And these 3 vertices should be equilateral triangle. So what is our total number of cases? 6 vertices are there and we are randomly choosing 3. So 6C3 is the total number of cases. 6 cases, 6 total edges and 3 we are taking. Total number of cases. What about, this is 20 actually. Now what about the favorable cases? Whichever 3 we are choosing, they have to give us an equilateral triangle. If I select A5, A4, A3, it will not give us an equilateral triangle. But if I choose A1, A3, 1 by 1 means 1 by the alternate one, and A5, it will be an equilateral triangle. You can see here also. So this is a regular hexagon, so all these alternate we are taking, these sides will be equal. This is the first one. What about the next one? I'll show you the next one. If I take the other remaining, that is A2, A4 and A6. So do you get here? See? This is also an equilateral triangle. So there are only 2 ways you will get equilateral triangle. 3 sides becomes equal. So you get 2 as the favorable cases. So 2 is the favorable cases, 63, 20 is the total number of cases, 1 by 10 is the answer here. Question number 9. If E1 and E2 are there is a slight mistake in the book, but I'll just make it as E1 and E2. If E1 and E2 are independent events, write the value of P, E1 intersection E2, E1 union E2, intersection E1 complement intersection E2 complement. So there is some E and E1 complication, but just assume we are talking about E1 and E2. There are only 2 events. So let us take the universal set. Let me show you through Venn diagram first. Then you will understand the idea more. This E1, E2 are independent events. This is E1, E2. Independent event. Even if you intersect them, they are independent event. I'll tell you about these also, but let us understand first with an example. So all the E1, E2 union is all the elements of E1 and E2. What is E1 complement? Remaining E1, everything. What about E2 complement? Remaining E2, everything. So E1 complement, if you take, it will be E2 and along with this all the universal set apart from E1. Everything apart E1 is E1 complement. Similarly, in the same way, we will do the E2 complement also. E2 complement is except E2 everything. Except E2 everything. Right? Right. So now I'll give you an example here. Because if you take the intersection of these two, E1, E2 complement, E1 union E2 is both of them, 1, 2, say 3, 4. One will have 1, 2, second will have 3, 1, 4. I am taking an example. Even E2 union is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now E1 complement is what? E2, that is 3, 4. E2 complement is what? It's 1, 2, E1. What is the intersection? It is 5. Now when you take intersection of this 5 with E1 union E2, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, in an example, 5 intersection with anything is 5. So we'll do it using the theorem we have learned in the theory. See, now we'll take the De Morgan law, or we have multiplicative associative that many laws. So E1 we will take with E1 intersection E2 complement, and then E2 will take with the E1 intersection E1 and E2 intersection. So union is already there, so union in between. So E1 with this and E2 with this. Okay. So even intersection, as I said, even intersection with even complement intersection E2 complement. E1 complement is 3, 4, E2 complement is 1, 2. And intersection is 5. 5 complement with anything, that is E1 is going to be 5. Similarly here, this is also 5. Same thing. 5 intersection with everything is 5. Next is question number 10. If A and B are two independent events such that PA intersection B is 1 by 6 and PA complement intersection B complement is equal to 1 by 3, then write the value of PA and PB. So why it is in VSCQ, I still don't understand, because it has a quite a solution. So first is, let us write what is given. So PA intersection B is 1 by 6. Then PA complement intersection B complement is equal to 1 by 3. Let me write the formula. This will be 1 minus P. Complement will replace, so it will be A union B. So PA union B. Now since PA union B, how can we find out? Because PA complement intersection B complement is known. PA union B can be found out using, I am picking it here, 1 minus PA complement intersection B complement. So this is already given in the question. It is given as 1 by 3. So I am putting it here. So PA union B is this 2 by 3. So PA intersection B is 1 by 6. PA union B is 2 by 3. Now let us use the formula we know, that is addition theorem. PA union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. So PA plus PB, I am taking both intersection and union and one side, this one. So 2 by 3 is 1 and 1 by 6 another. So PA plus PB becomes 2 by 3 plus 1 by 6, which is going to be 5 by 6. This is PA plus PB. Okay. Now how about, because this A and B are clearly given, these are independent events. So PA into PB, what will this be? Since they are independent event, PA intersection B is PA into PB. PA intersection B is equal to PA into PB, because the question is saying they are two independent events, right? So PA intersection B is PA into PB. This is PB. So PA into PB. We know that value of PA intersection B. We don't know the value of PA and PB, but we know value of PA intersection B. So PA into PB will be 1 by 6. Okay, this is the first equation, PA plus PB, and now we are interested in PA minus PB. So PA plus PB we know, PA minus PB, how to find out? Let us say that I square it. So it will be PA square plus PB square, let x minus y whole square, x square plus y square minus 2xy. So PA square plus PB square minus 2 PA PB. But can I write this PA square plus PB square as PA plus PB whole square? Yes. If I write it as PA plus PB whole square, it will be PA square plus PB square plus 2AB. So plus 2AB is extra, so we have to subtract this to 2AB. So this, in order to write PA square plus PB square as PA plus PB whole square, we have to subtract 2 PA PB also, because x plus y whole square is x square plus y square plus 2xy. So we have to subtract this 2xy. The 2 PA PB minus 2 PA PB. So this minus 2 PA PB minus 2 PA PB will be minus 4 PA PB. So this will be PA plus PB whole square minus 4. This 2 becomes 4 PA PB. Okay. Now we have the value of PA plus PB. This is 5 by 6. We know the value of PA into PB now. This is 1 by 6. So 4 into 1 by 6. This was 1 by 6. So put it here. So I hope you will be able to do this. It is given in the solution also. So PA plus PB was already there with us. 5 by 6. PA minus PB also. This will be 1 by 36. So PA minus PB, no, 1 by 6. Because PA minus PB, this whole square, will be equal to 1 by 36, and PA minus PB will be 1 by 6. Okay, now PA plus PB, PA minus PB, that is x plus y, x minus y, 2 Symmetry-less equation, you can solve it easily. For example, I'll solve one of them, just adding them. 2PA will be equal to 1 by 6 by 5 by 6, that is 6 by 6, that is going to be 1. So PA will be 1 by 2. PA is 1 by 2. Okay. Now you see here, PB is going to be, if you put PA as 1 by 2, PB will be 1 by 3. This is quite clumsy, but still I hope you understand how to solve this. Okay guys, this is all about very short answer questions. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.